everybody, welcome back to the episode of Last Day How to Survival. Today we return, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and today we have been raided. We got a revenge raid lined up for today, but first things first, we got a brand new vehicle lined up for today that I want to go ahead and get to going over at the motel, which was added in the 1.9.9 update. I hope that you guys have been enjoying it, by the way. And this wood over here, we're actually going to use it when we get back because we do have some repairs to make over on the base, but that can wait. We managed to get up to 3C4 as well, so today's raid ought to be juicy, but that can wait. First things first, we're going to the motel. We got some big stuff to talk about over there because the motel contains a brand new vehicle never before seen in Last Day on Earth, except for one very specific instance that I think when you guys hear about this, you're gonna be like, you know, it's gonna get those cogs turning, and I think we may be on to something very big over here. So as you guys know, the motel has come out. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it over in update 1.9.9. I think iOS should be getting that update within the next couple of days, as is per usual, but I do know that the location is a little bit on the easier side. It's definitely geared a little bit more towards beginners to give them a location to be able to go to and go and get some basic loot from. It's definitely not an ender game location, kind of like the farm or the police station, but nonetheless it definitely still has a place into the Last Day on Earth ecosystem, and especially with what they are doing with the way that they're trying to add in more locations, it does make sense that there is one for beginners and there is a progression. Hello, we got ourselves a cooked turkey. I can get behind that, but it definitely makes sense that it does exist. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying it, at least going through it at least one time. But today, what we got to go over is something very interesting, and that is right here. This is a brand new vehicle that we have seen. You might be like, stop, but it's just a crashed vehicle. It doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter just a little bit, because boom, go ahead, cop a peek at this. Do you know what image this is? This is the image from the official Last Day on Earth Play Store / App Store page. This is one of the images teasing what they got, and on top of it all, you guys can see over on the left hand side a very similar muscle car / muscle vehicle that has been in the game. So what we can infer over from the original screenshot is that originally, when this game was in the early stages, it was geared, there were plans for some sort of a muscle car to actually be a form of transport, because quite obviously within the screenshot the player is driving it to the airdrop. I don't think there's just a conveniently parked freaking beautiful in shape. Well, maybe it's a little bit dinked up, but still it is a pretty nice and very powerful looking vehicle that the player has driven over. There's no way that would just be chilling by an airdrop, so I would 100% steal that. It is in mint and working condition, and what we are seeing over here in the game is a very similar muscle car, a little bit more updated though. It is kind of similar to a Mustang. You can actually tell because of some of those like rear blinkers. Those are pretty iconic towards the Mustang, and also that little icon / insignia right above the license plate, making this kind of line up very nicely with that. But these are two very distinct muscle cars, and this is the very first instance of us actually seeing the muscle car in game, despite the fact that we have over in that photo, it has kind of like been, at least Kafir was planning something with it, man. Otherwise they wouldn't just put it in there. Potentially they got scraps, potentially they got sidetracked, but it appears the muscle car is making some sort of a reappearance, whether that be this will be the form that it does take, or maybe it'll only be found in the pool. But I think it's actually onto something a little bit bigger. So the muscle car did have like a model, it did have assets in the game at some point, because they had to make that screenshot using something, so they're always got like plans to do something with it. But now I think it's finally going to be coming to fruition, because this is our very first teaser of an active vehicle actually being used in a very specific instance, and that instance is off the road. And this is a road that's been a very common theme in a couple of the locations that have been teased. First off in the motel, next off we're going to be seeing it over at the gas station, which should be coming after the Halloween and Dia de los Muertos update, which we should be seeing a little bit later this month, that we are definitely going to be hopping into to the fullest of extents. But there's a very common theme with them: the road. Where is this road? Why has it just appeared with the motel? What is it leading to? What is it trying to say? Well, there's been whispers and talks and backstory regarding a city in the game. Cities, as you guys know, are something that roads usually do lead to, because roads are usually a sign of a more urban development. Obviously, they're available in rural areas, but they're a little bit less scattered. But ultimately, kind of in a similar kind of little metaphor, all roads lead to Rome. And ultimately, when you think about it, a lot of roads do end up leading to to those urban centers, to those cities. And there's actually a couple of things on the roadmap that line up very nicely with the road. Not just we have the gas station, there's also these suburbs, which will literally need roads to exist because neighborhoods need roads. It's going to be just like that. And ultimately the city, which is kind of like the ultimate urban, super densely compacted urban area that roads will be leading to. So I think what this is it's starting to kind of like build a path, tease the path towards the city. And I think the car is our very first taste of what might be another type of vehicle, because we know that the chopper is going to be available for us to go ahead and go to the northern areas, to go up north. That is what the chopper does. We also have the ATV, which is going to be allowing us to head out west, which is going to be allowing us to go to that swamp location, go to that whatever location it is that will be giving us titanium, because there's the how the chopper takes you to the oak zones and the winter zones. The ATV will be taking us to the swamp zones, then some sort of equivalent zone to get titanium from. But this might be a type of transport that we need to get to the city, because maybe our chopper doesn't have the fuel capacity to make it all the way over to the city by itself, you know. And the ATV is definitely built more for off-roading than on-roading, meaning I think in the ecosystem and in the path and in just kind of the roadmap that is starting to shape up between the gas station, between the motel, between the suburbs, and ultimately the city, it makes a lot of sense for there to be an actual vehicle that is built to go like a lot longer distances. And I do believe actually being able to drive a car would line up very nicely with that. And I mean, man, it's just too perfect condition, man. Besides the fact that this thing crashed into a pool and someone drove this car off, and we just haven't seen a lot of instances of functioning vehicles. And I mean, the only thing keeping this thing from functioning is the whole aspect of it literally being put into a freaking pool, crashed. Actually, I believe I think this person may or may not have been drunk driving, because if you search the back, at least last time we did it, okay, not this time, but last time when you searched the car, or last time when we did do it, we actually found alcohol in his vehicle, which is, I don't know, a little bit sketchy. But nonetheless, I do think that this is kind of like all connecting something bigger, and given the motel is the very first type of location that incorporates that central road, the gas station will be the next one. Ultimately the suburbs, which are still on the roadmap, although I believe they have been pushed back a little bit, and most likely I think they're going to be coming after the ATV and swamp update, which we are still some updates away from. But ultimately it is shaping up very nicely for these roads to be connected. And sure, maybe our chopper is going to be able to take us that long distance, but that vehicle, man, it's too convenient. It just goes so well with the road and what it adds in. I do believe it is hinting towards something bigger and towards a new type of vehicle that we will need, similar to how the chopper gets us to the north, how the ATV is going to get us to the west. I do believe we will be needing some sort of a vehicle, maybe a car, to get us to the city, because I mean, there's a road leading up to the place. The city is nowhere close to anywhere on the map. It's going to have to be way more up north than what we've reached so far, because I do think that the city is known to be very up north from like what some of the loading screens do hint towards. So it would make sense for us to need something like that. But go ahead and let me know what you guys think in that comment section down below regarding the inclusion of this very tippity top shape, minus the whole crashing into a pool thing, vehicle, and what it might mean in the addition, in the context of the road, of the motel, of the gas station, of the suburb, and ultimately of the city. Like I'm saying, man, it does add up to a lot of things, especially because when you look at it, at least the way that we enter the map, we don't enter following the road. We appear to be using the chopper more as an off-roading vehicle, and I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds, so I definitely cannot wait to hear what you guys got to say about it. And a reminder, that comment is going to put you 1/3 of the way into the wing of $12 at two such place store gift card giveaway. All you got to do as well is make sure to like button, make sure to subscribe. That'll let you win on today's video. Y'all go ahead and enter it on every single last day on Earth video. When Saturday rolls around, we'll pick a random video from the past week, pick a random comment from that random video, and that we'll be one for the week, and we'll kick off a new weekly giveaway that exact same Saturday as well. So make sure to stay tuned with that notification bell hit to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest of Last Day on Earth information coming out and coming your way, whether that be coming directly from Kafir, coming from some info that they're releasing, or whether that be coming from some things we're able to take out of the game and kind of take some of these hints and kind of give them some context and see some of the very interesting things that have yet to come. Not to mention, it is a great way of staying up to date with all the new updates that, dude, let's freaking go! We got an energy drink. Yes, that's what I like to see. That's exactly what I was looking for, but I'm gonna freaking take that, dude. That is 1 free energy refill, so that's actually a pretty valuable thing that the motel, at least initially we didn't find that, but now knowing that the motel does drop an energy drink or has a chance to, that actually makes it a very interesting thing. And some people were saying, actually, from what Kafir was teasing, that there might be a chance that maybe the good thing about the motel is that it will give some sort of an opportunity, some sort of a chance to actually acquire the VSS, because woo, not the best thing in the world, but I'll go ahead and take it. But it might give some sort of an opportunity to go ahead and acquire the VSS, because in the teaser and in the update notes, the thing to end off the update notes, they say, let the VSS be with you. Well, you don't need a VSS to go through the motel, so I think that might be meaning that the motel has a chance in some way. Oh, I didn't bring any hatchets. Yeah, dang it. You know, the good news is there might be some wood and stone lying around that we might be able to salvage. Or do we need to chop it down? No, there is wood and there is stone, making this a very self-sufficient location. Okay, so this really is like the location version of a green zone that gives you like a little bit more specific loot. I don't know. I think it serves a purpose. I know it's not as dope as the farm. It's not as dope as the police station, but you gotta admit, it still serves a purpose. And remember, think of it remember when we were just starting out in Last Stand on Earth? Could you imagine having a location like this to be able to rely on while we get our feet kind of under ourselves and kind of introduce us to the whole location system? It has a place within the ecosystem. It sucks for those of us who are a little bit further along, but you gotta admit, it definitely makes sense within the context of the game and the new locations that they have been added in. But okie dokie, now that we got those things, we can definitely craft up the hatchets that we'll be using to ultimately break through the rest of this base. But for real, man, definitely looking forward to what you guys got to say regarding the whole road aspects, regarding the vehicle, and hopefully, dude, I would be totally game with getting a vehicle like that in my billet. And god dang it, for some reason I thought that chest was gonna be in that room, but yeah. I don't know, man. That's gonna be awesome if we could get something like that, because driving a freaking Mustang, a beautiful muscle car like that along, is gonna be a dope thing. And again, man, that's the thing, man. Just taking into account the whole thing that we saw, the old teaser, or not the old teaser, but the old thing stemming from the Play Store, stemming from the App Store, and just kind of taking that into context, and knowing that there were muscle car assets in the game, there were plans for the muscle car to be a player vehicle. I think that maybe they just kind of pushed it along. They're like, wait, why don't we start out with a little chopper, let that kind of be it for the starter locations, and it makes sense for this to be the time for them to bring it full circle and to ultimately bring that back into the loop. And what a floater bloater, goodbye to you. Nice shirt though, I must say. Very, very nice shirt, but it just makes a lot of sense, man. That might be what pushed it back, why they didn't initially include it, despite the fact that they were thinking about it. They had it as an aspect, not an aspect, as an asset of the game within the game files. I don't know, man. The full circleness, at least in my mind, it does add up. And being able to take it to the city, even just drive it around anywhere, man. Woo-wee. Is that gonna be a beautiful thing? Because, dude, I don't care if it's the type of muscle car. That actually brings another thing, too. Maybe there'll even be different types of muscle cars, because we do have the whole Jack the Mechanic, who's gonna be available at the gas station. Maybe down the line, he'll be able to upgrade and kind of like soup up the different types of cars we can get. Maybe we'll be able to upgrade, because like the image that we were seeing over in the gas station one, not the gas station, the image that we were seeing over from the Play Store / App Stores, it did look like it was pretty loaded out with stuff in the back, and it had that engine kind of jutting out of the front where it's like kind of like sticking out of the hood. So obviously pretty different. Maybe some modifications like that will be possible, because Jack the Mechanic, I mean, it makes sense for him to be able to do mods. He's literally taking up residence within a garage. So totally forgot about those dudes. So yeah, apparently that's another thing that we've learned, is that those barricades just have a chance of breaking on their own, but they also they have a chance of not being broken, in which case you do need to bring your own hatchet to break it down. And I think that anyone, whoa, let's freaking go, dudes. I love the motel. All bad things, or even less than stellar things I may have said about the motel, I would like to officially take back. Guys, I think the motel might be a bit better than we give it credit for. Sure, it's not the toughest location in the world, but any location that can give me books for the freaking winter biome, potentially a chance at a VSS, not to mention energy drinks. Let me just put it out there. I think this motel, maybe over the coming days, dude, feel free. This is another thing now that we apparently have information that this is not as much of a pushover location as I initially thought. Definitely let me know in that comment section down below, maybe from your guys' motel runs, which I'm guessing everyone should be able to make a run out to this location. It is not the most difficult to do by any means, any stretch of the imagination. Go ahead and let me know maybe what you guys have personally acquired. What are some of the highlights, the really good things you've gotten from the motel? Because, dude, already here, just my second run through the motel, we've already found, god dang it, gotta get us a little bit more wood, but we've already found some, like, surprisingly decent things we didn't get the first time around, so I was hating on this a little bit, but I think it might be earning my love back just a tad bit more, because, oh, Nelly, dude, anything that can get me magazines for the North, that's a big old thumbs up for me. But back to what I was saying with that subscription bell, with being subscribed and that notification bell, and I'm just trying to find me that one last piece of wood because we need one more to go ahead and craft up that hatchet. It's got to be, yeah, there we go. I knew there was one lying around. There's no way they're gonna leave us hanging like that. But like I was saying, we're going to be staying as up to date with all the updates as we can, covering everything that we can as they do come out. Halloween update coming out most likely within the next week or two, since it's probably going to come out during October because, hello, Halloween event. My best guess would be next week, which is pretty much usually a week span. That's about the minimum in between updates, so I'm guessing that might line up very nicely with when that would otherwise be coming. This thing still hasn't been broken down, but we can go ahead and craft up the hatchet to do a little bit of the break-in. And how diddly ho there, you horde. How do you do? I gotta take your lads and lassies down. But yeah, you gotta be careful when you're doing this because any of those boarded up areas do have a chance of being broken down by zombies when you think you're heading on over to chop it down with the hatchet. Then suppressa! No, they're chopping it down, and they are chopping it down with wrath, with fury, and they're gonna want to take you down. And ultimately here we have the last room of the motel. Nothing super crazy. Last time that one broke, so I'm gonna be very skeptical of that because it does have a fluta bluta running out of it as well. We'll go ahead and utilize a bandage, and looks like we're gonna have to manually break it, so I don't know. God dang it. All right, we gotta, I don't even know if we have more wood this time, man. Hopefully there's some more wood lying around. Otherwise, actually, I do have, whatchamacall. Oh, and that's another thing that the update did add as well, this new building materials pack. That actually, dude, that is a lot of steel plates that you have a chance to get. We might be doing an opening of that down the line, but for now, I'm happy with what we got. But, whatchamacall, the chopper, I totally forgot. We brought some wood along for the ride anyways, so, yeah, check it out. Nifty thrifty. I don't know any words that rhyme with nifty thrifty off the top of my head, but yeah, we'll send it. That's the last hatchet we're gonna need to clear this location out. Have we checked out? We have not, so let's make sure that we get every single chest that we can and all the contents that it contains. Hello, trash. Get immobile. Your limited edition, man. It's not easy. I know you might be like, Star, but it's quite literally trash. Yeah, but dude, where else are you gonna find trash, you know? Another thing, dude, I hope that we could go ahead and take that at some point. That would be super nifty thrifty. But back to what I was saying, yeah, make sure that notification bell is set to stay up to date with all the updates as we do continue covering as they come out, because we are always all over those bad boys, showing off everything they have to offer, making sure that you guys are prepared to go ahead and dive into them themselves, not to mention breaking down anything and everything that we can from the locations, getting that info moving forward, and of course just doing the craziest things that we can, because some of the locations do bring some pretty crazy possibilities into it, and the motel, while not being the hardest location, let's be honest here, you're gonna be lying to yourself if you're not gonna say it's fun grabbing a propane barrel, putting it up against the wall, and literally blowing out an entire wall of the motel. It is fun to do, trust me, coming from personal experience. But let's see what is over from this TV stand. And today, hey, we got a little bit of a camera we could go ahead and take home. I will definitely be doing that in addition to all the other jazz we got, and I believe that is all the chests of the motel. I don't think that I forgot anything. I'm like 99% sure we got it all. I'll double check right around back where the vehicle is, which, like I'm saying, man, does have a lot of connotations and connections to the city, to all these locations that will be incorporating the road, and the fact that, I mean, this thing is most well equipped exactly for traversing the road. But let's go ahead and take all that we can from that. I don't think we're missing anything from there. So, motel, thank you for the hospitality. But I gotta go ahead and get the hell out of Dodge for today. Ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of that, today's raid, I'm not sure if I pointed this out. We're raiding the nameless person. We got raided by some dude without a name. Kind of spooked by that. We got raided by a freaking ghost, whatever that might be. And here, we do have confirmation as well that the motel will be respawning every day and a half. So it does actually have the lightest respawn timer out of all the locations. The police station having the 3-day, the farm having the 2-day. Yeah, I think the farm's 2-day and police station's 3-day. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but I'm definitely up there in terms of sureness. But like I was saying, notification bell, great way to stay up to date with that info, with the updates, not to mention every single video y'all go and enter it on the weekly giveaway. And of course, on top of it all the dope survival games we're checking out on the channel. Tons of Fallout 76 to be expected. That's coming out later this month. 7 Days to Die Alpha 17, if you guys have never checked it out. Oh, we got a prime time spot coming with Alpha 17, the biggest update the game has ever seen. We're gonna be starting a series from scratch, The Walking Dead as a game. Just overall, it's a great time to be a fan of the survival games. And here's what we got to do for today's quest to finish up the survival guide. We need 60 points and we'll be Gucci. Grow a dog and crossbreed 2 dogs. That is the quests we have in store for today. So let's go ahead and grow up Duke over here. And he is a male level 2 dog, meaning pretty easy peasy. We head on over there. We should be able to go to Duke and combine him with anyone. And, 5% chance on Bloodhound. I kind of want to keep Duke's traits, but at the same time, I'm always down to re-roll and see if we can't get something better. But with that, puppy bread, our survival guide is 100% completed. Let's get to taking some of these prizes that we have not redeemed up until now. Thank you for the 5 engine parts over there, in addition to Maple Forest, not Maple Forest, I don't know why I was thinking maple. The trees, the fall color, the fall season, no. The Oak Forest, so thank you very much, very kindly for that. Another winter thingy-mabob book, in addition to some energy, some electronic circuits, a couple more blueprints in a military backpack, and finally, some blueprints, some steel, some electronic circuit again, the SWAT, the SCAR, the rest of the SWAT armor, and a grenade launcher. And with that said and with that done, the survival guide has been completed with 2.5 days to spare. Can't wait to see what happens when that timer goes all the way down, by the way. Gonna be very interesting to see if maybe a new one appears with new types of quests or whatnot. But shouts out to you, survival guide, for the $5 I dropped on you. I think we definitely got our money's worth, cause sweet mama Jesus, I like what I'm seeing from it. But with that said, the last thing on the agenda for today is to get that sweet, sweet revenge. And that's exactly what we're going to be aiming to do. We just got to go ahead and prepare our inventory for exactly that. So talk to y'all in a sec. And without further ado, cop a peek at the inventory. That is about to be crafted, a plethora of hatchets and iron hatchets we're gonna need for today's raid, in addition to those 3 C4 we have at our disposal. Let's go and get them iron hatchets prepared as well. And we got a whole ton of fun in store for today. Okie dokie, with those knocked out of the way, we do have 2 leftover stone that I'm just gonna put over into there as well. We want to bring all these hatchets with us, but we got a lot of actually extra wood that is gonna be going towards repairing the walls that the raiders did make. Funnily enough, dude, the raiders broke through some pretty goofy stuff today. I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually gonna show this to you guys here in just a jiff as soon as my game does calm down. Boop. Toss a couple of those over there. Dude, they literally cleared out everything on this wall. They just had a grudge against this wall, dude. I have no clue what was going on over there. So hopefully they don't decide to break some more, because that could be a little bit disastrous. So I did want to make some protections around here, although it's going to be kind of hard because we have suffered a lot of losses, a lot of damages, and yeah, we maybe don't have as much wood as we want, but the raiders usually don't break too hard up there, so I'm crossing my fingers they don't break into there in between us doing this raid, because I think I will go ahead and get that patched up at some point. But I mean, for the most part, the raiders tend to focus breaking through all these level 1 walls, so I ain't gonna stress too much about it. And worst case, it's just gonna line up very well for us to get a revenge raid, which have been pretty nifty as of late. Not gonna lie, but dude, I don't know, man. I need that freaking muscle car, dude. I seriously think the Jack NPC, especially with the gas station being along the road, what he's gonna be able to do. Hello, we have an airdrop we might be stopping by after this raid. Just double check. We got everything at our disposal. The guns, they are silenced. Yeah, guten Tag. Let's head on over and break into this nameless land and see what it might contain, but I don't know, dude. That seems like a road that could connect a lot of things, and maybe Jack will be able to upgrade our vehicle because the vehicle did seem a little bit different from the screenshot I was shown towards what we saw crashed in the pool, but it's definitely the same type of vehicle, so maybe we'll be able to change it in some ways, maybe put a skin on it, similar to the way that the chopper has a skin, but time will tell how all that jazz goes. Make sure y'all guys are subscribed with that notification bell hit to make sure you stay up to date as we find out exactly what is going down. But I'm putting my money on something with that freaking car, man. It's too suspicious. You know, it really is, and there's too many connections that make a lot of sense with it. But for now, let's focus on the good stuff. That being breaking into this base right here. And the base appears to have 0 stones surrounding it. That's always a great sign, unless this ends up being a base with I don't know. It might be a wooden base on the outside, maybe stone base on the inside. This was a nameless lad after all. Who knows what type of black magic, dark arts are going on within here, but we may have actually come across the better part of his base where it appears to transition into level 2 flooring. And actually, that's an interesting thing to notice, by the way. I don't know if we can tell this from the outside, but there's actually a very distinct difference between level 2 floors, like right there, and level 1 floors, like right here. You can even tell on the outside, like, look, that's a level 2 floor, that's a level 1 floor. Level 1 floor looks a little bit dinkier, a little bit more like the level 1 wall, whereas level 2 wall does look kind of like a lot more of a solid color. So there's kind of a little something I wanted to make a quick note of. I thought that was interesting, but let's continue with the real interesting part. That's breaking into the goods. And I think I know where the goods are gonna be. Most likely what we are seeing here, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be some sort of stone being honeycombed by wood. Why don't we try to break through this wall over here? I don't really care how many level 1 hatchets we gotta blow through. Usually we have extra level 1 hatchets that we have to, whatchamacallit, ditch anyways. So this does kind of play out nicely, and I think I see what's going on. By the looks of it, this is going to be a 3x3 stone base. Pretty basic. A lot of people do have this because I actually believe a 3x3 over, yeah, in the building, a 3x3 stone room is exactly what they sell for that $10 price tag. So most likely this was someone who wanted to protect their goods with a little bit of stone protection. It adds up very nicely because that right there transitions into being something else. And push snaps, he started building out, putting down some stone walls and trying to expand his stone base out over this way before, well, we decided to stumble across his base. So as long as we don't break into the part where the radio is, because I distinctly hear a radio within the confines of his base, we should be pretty good to go. Also, this is actually going to be a nifty area we broke into, because this should ensure that when zombies end up spawning in, when they end up running up, they should get a little bit harmed along the way, which is good. But we do need to use 1 C4, and please start crossing your fingers to the raiding gods. And cross your freaking eyes, cross your crisscross applesauce, whatever you can. We need some good luck right about now, because the going, it might be getting tough, or it might be getting very, very sweet. All that I know is that we're about to find out. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, bada bing, bada boom. And within the base, we have come. We got 7 chests to break into and a whole ton of zombies to mow down. Hi diddly ho there, zombies. How y'all doing? Because y'all about to be doing extra dead with a side of super dead. Yeah, I know. The side's included for free. I'm trying to run a very nice operation here, you know? So I'm just handing it out left and right. Get on over here, flota blota. Plenty to come for you as well. And we got these 7 chests to break into. We got to recover some of our stuff, but also with how many chests there are here, we're easily gonna be getting some of his stuff, and hopefully that stuff is good. 12 phones? Not too shabby. That should, if we are even reasonably lucky, that should result in 1 or multiple electronic circuits already coming out ahead of the game. We got some batteries over there we can pick up for now until we get something a little bit better. Of course, I'm gonna, god dang it, I wanna find a way a place, I should say, to urinate, spread some vitamin P, spread some good vibes up around this area. You know, ow, don't stab me. Whoop, there you go, I got some vitamin P for you, base. You're already giving me some decent stuff in the form of phones, but I use the C4. I hope that we start getting even better than that pretty soon, because my expectations of you, Mr. Base, are definitely higher. But okie dokie, back into here we go. Let's go ahead and see what a couple of these other higher level chests do have, since these are level 2 chests compared to those measly level 1 chests. And wow, not exactly anything breathtaking so far, so that's a little bit poopy, but we'll continue making our way downtown. And downtown is filled with nothing noteworthy. I think there's a chance, still a chance for redemption, but there's definitely a very solid chance we may have come across what I like to call a trash can base, because quite literally, it is like a can of trash. Nothing super amazing, nothing that really stands out. Sure, we got some decent loot, but any raid where I'm using 1C4, even just 1C4, man, I'm expecting something a wee bit better than this, you know? Our luck could still turn around. We're not even halfway through the chests. So let's continue that break-in and enter-in process. And the signs continue not pointing towards anything good. We got some oak. I suppose that's okay. 8 oak isn't exactly worth 1C4 quite yet. I know we're getting other stuff, but you know what I mean. This is the M16 we lost. And that's also the aluminum wire we gave to them. We didn't even lose these. We gave them to the raiders. That's kind of like our entry fee, our ticket towards getting this raid for free. We got to go ahead and give them that, but we'll usually get it back. However, our own stuff, as sad as it is to say, our own stuff is looking like the highlight of this raid. Wow, not even an electronic circuit, not even a gun that isn't ours. Raid, you should be ashamed of yourself, because this is nothing to write home about. This is nothing to write about, period, man. No one's got to hear about what we got from here. All right, so please keep it a little bit hush, keep it a little bit low-key. I don't want this being spread, you know. Or maybe spread it, that way this nameless base over here gets raided more, you know? Actually, no, I don't want other people to succumb to the same fate I did, where sadness smacks me in the face with the hand of disappointment. It's like a simultaneous smack, like a pew-pew, like a half and half, like a clap, one on each side. Poop-sicles. It's the only way I can describe this. Poop-sicles. I'm almost in denial that that's the best things that we got from this. Maybe there are still a couple things that could give us hope, like maybe the woodworking benches, but all signs point towards nothing special at all. I don't even know what we're gonna grab from this raid. This is actually the worst raid we've gotten from the new update. Dude, the new update? Well, 1.9.9. I don't know how 1.9.9's been, but I do know that 1.9.8 actually handed us a lot of really good raids. I don't know if 1.9.9 is going to be an update of lackluster raids or what the shindig might be, but is not off to a great start, man. Our first raid of 1.9.9 is, I think that is the only sound that could properly describe how I'm feeling. Why don't we go ahead and put a couple valuables away into our chopper as well, and then we'll fill up the rest of our inventory with what we see fit. I don't know how great of a fit it's going to be, but we're gonna see what we see fit and take things from there. Let's put this away over into the chopper over there. I'll put those two away because those are gonna be going straight back into the bait chest. At some point, we've already repopulated the bait chest with a couple of other things, like, whatchamacallit. We put another M16 in there and I think a couple more aluminum wires, so we should be well on our way towards another revenge raid. And hopefully this next one will be a little bit better, because right now, oof. The only sound that can describe how I'm feeling. Also, I do have this gas that I want to go ahead and put into the chopper. That's another thing we can go ahead and capitalize off of. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. Hello, chopper. How do you do? Yeah. Beautiful. Brings our grand total up to 9 and our grand inventory total to 1 less slot, meaning there's 1 more slot to fill up with some loot. One of the great benefits of traveling with a chopper. Hopefully, ooh, speaking of that, dude, imagine what the benefits of traveling with that freaking muscle car might be down the line. If y'all have any ideas, feel free to let me know, but I could definitely see, like, honestly, bigger storage, that would easily be a good thing. I could seriously imagine it being like an upgraded version of the chopper, you know, although that's kind of like what the ATV is. It's going to be interesting. I think it'll be like this. I seriously, man, there's just a lot of things that point towards it being that. The city version of the chopper, of the ATV, and hopefully with some pretty hefty storage, because it's going to have a dedicated trunk of some kind, unless, like the image that we saw, we maybe decide to deck out the trunk. Maybe we can sacrifice inventory room for upgrades to the car, like fuel efficiency or other things like that. It's going to be interesting to see. Goes without saying. And right now, it's just going to be interesting to see what we end up taking home with us. I will definitely go and get some more beans and go ahead and eat up this steak. Want to make sure that we're nice and nourished after what we've gone through today. And I don't know. I don't know, man. It's really like this is one of the driest raids we've had in a long time. Like, I've never had to look this hard for stuff to put into my inventory, man. I know that there's like some okay things, but out of what we need, out of the things we're short on, nothing super amazing, but that's actually pretty decent. I'll go ahead and start grabbing some of them bolts. I guess I could leave that behind. We'll grab that. We'll grab the watches, and I'm not really going to be losing sleep over anything we left behind here. I have a bajillion transistors back at home, man. I think I have like a lifetime supply of transistors. I don't know what I did, but we just have way too many of those. Mainly because I don't think they really get used in too many things. At least we haven't had to build too many things since then. But there we have it, the nameless raid and all of its contents. All in all, unless you lost something pretty valuable, and unless maybe we got unlucky, because that's the thing, the weird way that revenge raids work is that certain spots in the chests are replaced by our stuff, so there is the chance where maybe one of our things we lost, like our M16, accidentally, well, not accidentally, it just kind of, or it randomly, I should say, ended up replacing the other thingy-mabob. It wrong words. Randomly ended up replacing like an electronic circuit or a pistol. That's the only thing I could think of, man, because the highlights, and I mean the highlight, even the medium lights of that raid, dude, they mainly belonged to what we decided to take. Did they steal oak from us? Like, this might even be our oak, in complete honesty. I'm not 100% sure. It's just, oh no, I didn't technically take everything I could. Not the biggest L in the world. I wasn't really desperate for inventory room this time around, but what I can be desperate, that guy's gonna smell me. I can smell you. Well, yeah, when you have a musk like this, you better be able to smell me, dude. Otherwise, your nose is likely broken. Let's see what's in the airdrop. And after this, I believe that's gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up for today's episode. And hey, we got some semi-decent things. Yeah, it's okay. I might actually even go ahead. Yeah, I don't know. The flashlights don't give anything super crazy good. They're really good for leveling up your recycler level, but once it's maxed out like mine is, I don't think those give anything too crazy. But with that said, with that done, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Last Day on Earth Survival. Best of luck to you guys and gals. Getting a chopper gas tank and joining the chopper squadron. Best of luck breeding your pup. Getting the true friend perk, level up your own perks and skills. Not to mention find the very best blueprints that you can for the very best attachments. Building up those attachments for the very best weapons that you got. Best of luck building up your base, protecting it from raiders, going out on the dopest of raids, defeating all the bosses the game has to throw at you, getting past the multiplayer wall, conquering the motel, and hopefully getting some really good loot, and of course hopefully coming up with some dope ideas and thoughts that I cannot wait to hear from regarding that muscle car, regarding the road, and regarding the city, and also maybe what you guys were finding in the motel in that comment section down below. With that said, with that done, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys a whole ton for watching. This was an awesome one. I'll talk to you next one. See ya.